I used to water just to watch her float across the floor. Grew up in a small town, never put her roots down. Daddy always kept on moving, so she did too. Somewhere on a desert highway, she rides her Harley Davidson, long blonde hair flying in the wind. She's been running half her life, the chrome and steel she rides, colliding with the very air she breathes. The air she breathes. Hey, how you doing? Justin here. Today we are checking out Unknown Legend by Neil Young. It's possibly one of my favourite all-time Neil Young songs, and it's got loads of really interesting things going on in the guitar part. It's played fingerstyle, but it's kind of strummed, so you're strumming with your fingers and picking out individual notes. There's nothing too difficult going on with the actual chords that are being played or the lines, but I find this tune is kind of an awkward one to get together. It's using a very common Neil Young technique, which is the continuous movement of the strumming hand. So all of the melody lines and the little bits have to kind of fit into the hand still moving even when it's playing single lines. And that's kind of the most challenging aspect of this tune. Although there are a few wobbly things as well in the verses, in the way that the chords are structured, because they're unusual numbers of bars. Usually in music, bars chords are held for 1, 2, 4 or 8 bars, sometimes 6, but this is kind of like 5 bars and then a 2/4 bar and then into a new chord, which is a little bit odd. So let's start off by going through the intro first of all, and the really big deal here is to realize that because the hand is moving continuously, notes that are on the beat are going to be played with the thumb doing a kind of a down pick, down strum, and if they're on the off beat, that is an and, you'll use your first finger to do an up pick. But it's really got to feel like it's still strumming. You know, if we take the very first line, okay, right at the intro, we're playing the 2nd fret on the 5th string with a down pick with the thumb. Then the 3rd fret on the same string, on the 5th string, will be the 1st finger. So thumb, 1st finger. They're talking about this hand. It's 2nd and 3rd fingers on the fretting hand. But thumb, 1st finger, and then 1st finger again. And the reason for that is because they're offbeats. It's going 3 and 4 and 1. And then on beat 1, thumb is going to play the bass note of the G chord. So 3 and 4 and 1. So that's how the hand can keep moving. Down, up, up. So you can get the idea there, the down, up, up. You can almost, you're not doing the full movement. It's not being able to do a full strumming movement, but you want to keep the feeling of the strumming movement. You can see it very clearly if you watch some live clips of Neil playing this tune. You can see that that's what's going on. It sometimes looks like he's playing with a pick, but I've not seen him actually play this tune with a pick. It is always just he's holding sometimes his 1st and 2nd fingers quite closely together, but it's generally that's again. If you're doing that, the thumb and the 1st finger have to be close together to get those first 2 notes. So what's happening the rest of the time is the thumb is going to be playing the bass note of the chord. on beats 1 and 3, and then the and 2 and 3 and 4 and a little strums with the first finger. Sometimes first and second finger are getting involved. I think it helps to think of it just as the first finger, and if the other fingers happen to help out with the strumming a bit, that's kind of fine as well. But again, it's about keeping that motion. So a good thing to practice just on a G chord. Now I'm playing G the way Neil usually does for this song, which is the third finger playing the third fret of the thicker string, little finger playing the third fret of the thinner string, and the fifth string is either muted. Sometimes Neil's putting his second finger down in the kind of the usual spot for a G, which is the second fret of the fifth string. But sometimes it's just left off as well, okay? So a nice thing to practice just to kind of get into the vibe of it before we start looking at the single lines is probably just doing down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So thumb is playing the bass note of the chord, then first finger, up, down, up, thumb, up, down, up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. So the strum on 2 and 4, I'm kind of hitting a little bit harder, so it ends up being a little bit like a rhythmic thing, because we got the bass on 1 and 3, which is normally where the kick drum would be playing for the drums, and the little hit there on beats 2 and 4 would replicate the snare drum. So that's kind of when you're doing, I'm exaggerating it now, it's not normally that strong in this song for as far as I can tell, for the way Neil plays it anyway. So that would be a good starting point to get to grips with, I think, before you start trying to incorporate the lead line. Like I said, I will go to a close-up, but I want to explain it in the wide so that you can see kind of everything working together, and then hopefully the close-up will just kind of iron out any questions or issues. So, as I said, the very first line is second fret on the fifth string, third fret, and then open fourth string, and then we're on a G chord. And I think the pattern there for the first time is just thumb on beat 1, strum on beat 2, and then the 1 and 2 and. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and. Thumb down with the fingers, thumb up, down, up with the fingers. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and. The pattern, the actual strumming pattern you'll find is a little irregular, which is kind of fine so long as the hand keeps moving. That's the trick to it, is making sure that hand keeps moving. If the hand starts stopping, you're going to be in trouble. Okay, so you really want that to be the kind of the thing that you're trying to work on. And again, doing these things really slowly is the way to go. So just practicing 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and just the very first phrase over again. 1 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and. I'm trying to get used to that feeling of it moving before you start trying to learn all the phrases. That would be my recommendation, okay? A second phrase, very similar to the first one, but the first one, 3 and 4 and. The second phrase, the second lead line, 3, 4 and. So we're going to play third fret on the fifth string, second fret on the fifth string, and then open D. But the rhythm is going to be 3, 4 and. So the picking we would use would be thumb, thumb, 1. Okay, so the very first phrase, 3 and 4 and. So we'd use thumb, 1, 1. The second phrase, 3, 4 and, different rhythm. 3, 4 and would be thumb, thumb, 1. Okay, those two phrases together. 2, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 2, 3 and 4. That phrases again. 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2. Okay, now so it's going phrase 1, phrase 2 with a slightly different rhythm. Back to phrase 1 again. Then the fourth line is the same rhythm as the second phrase. This is, it might be sounding a little complicated. It'll make sense when I start playing it through. And the first two notes are the same, but instead of playing the open D, we play the thicker string, open thicker string. We're going to a C chord. So officially the chord will be C/E, a C chord with an E bass. And what feels a bit weird there is going thumb, thumb, first finger. So you're playing the fifth string with your thumb, but then you're going to play the thicker string with your first finger, which might feel a little bit weird, but again, it's all about trying to keep that hand moving, the feeling of that strumming. That's really a key thing in Neil Young guitar style. So let me get through to that point up to the C now. So the rest of it's all G tonality. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and. Okay. Now when it goes to the C, it does feel a little bit weird having this, because you don't really get a chord then until beat 2, but that does seem to be the way that it's being played by Neil. When he's got a full band there, other people are playing on that beat 1, so it doesn't sound as odd, but it does seem to be the way that he plays it when he's playing it live. So 3, 4, and then to change to the C chord, 2, 3, and 4, and. Okay, so same thing, but thumb this time isn't so much punching that lowest note there, it's kind of brushing over the thicker string in the C. 3, 4, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 4, and 1, 2, 3. And then we've got open thicker string, third fret on the thicker string, and then they're both with the thumb because it's 3, 4, and is played with the first finger, open D string, fourth string. And then we've got 2 bars there on the G. So let me play that whole intro now nice and slowly again with the count all of the way through. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2. Let's have a close-up look at the fretting hand intro. So here we go. 1, 2. So here's a close-up for you of the intro of the picking hand, because this is probably the most tricky bit of the whole tune. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, Again, one more time, nice and slowly. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So there we have the intro. Now let's get in and have a look at this verse. Now there's nothing particularly difficult going on. It's just that we hold the chords for unusual lengths. And when we combine that with that continuous movement with the strumming, with the thumb playing on beats 1 and 3, it just feels a little bit odd. But if you play along with the original recording and you sing along and you know how it goes in your ears, it's kind of easier to let the song flow if you know how it goes in your ears. So I definitely recommend listening to it a lot as well. So let's just simplify it first of all to 4 down strums to the bar. So she used to work in a diner, never saw a woman look finer. I used to order just to watch her float across the floor. Okay, so straight away you can see that we had 5 bars of G, and then the open A, which is the open 5th string, then 2nd fret on the A. Just those notes. You play them with the thumb, which is going up to C chord for 2 bars. And then we have 7 bars on the G before the chorus. Okay, so it just feels a little bit weird. One more time through that whole first verse, just so you hear how that goes. She used to work in a diner, never saw a woman look finer. I used to want it just to watch her float across the floor. She grew up in a small town, never put her roots down. Daddy always kept her moving, so she did too. 2, 3, 4, 1. Somewhere on up, and then we're into the verse. So it's important that you get that framework, but again, you can see how it kind of molds there with the vocal and the melody very clearly. You know, it's an unusual chord sequence, but it's because the melody's so strong, it sounds incredible, you know. And it's one of those things about Neil, is he can do those things that are a bit left of center and make them sound incredible still. So when you're actually playing it for real, you're going to be doing the thumb on beats 1 and 3, and then the down, up, down, up, or just the down with the thumb. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and... Because he's kind of mixing it up a lot. There's not really a set pattern, but you might want to try just doing thumb, downstroke with the thumb, up, down, up would be a nice pattern. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and... That works, or 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. And... Either of those things are going to work quite well. It's up to you to decide how you're going to take it. So let me apply that now to that verse and those chords. So she used to work in a diner, never saw a woman look finer. I used to want her just to watch her float across the floor. Grew up in a small town, never put her roots down. Daddy always kept her moving, so she did too. Somewhere on a desert highway. And then we're into that chorus. So the only other thing I should mention is sometimes on the G chord, I'm putting my first finger down in the 1st fret of the 2nd string on the word like diner. She used to work in a diner, never saw a woman look finer. Okay? Because the melody of the vocal melody is doing that, and I can see sometimes Neil adding that in. Again, it's not all the time though, so don't feel like you have to do that, but as a little option you might want to try that. And also on the C chord, a very common Neil thing, which again he does sometimes he doesn't do, is doing a little hammer on there with the 2nd finger. So you can do an up pick with the 1st finger on the open string and hammer the 2nd finger. Again, I don't think it's on the record all the time, but he definitely plays it that way live sometimes. So that's the verse. Again, nothing too tricky. It's just a little bit odd. A little bit of listening, a little bit of practice, you should be there fine. Okay, let's get stuck into the chorus now. And the chorus, again, there's nothing particularly difficult. It's just the rhythm of the chords that feels a little bit weird, like where the chords are changing. It's still only C chord and G chord, but basically we start with the C chord, and then we've got that only for 1, 2, and then we're on to the G chord on the and after 2. On beat 3, our thumb will be getting back involved doing the down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up thing. So we have really slowly, just on this little 2-bar pattern, C, C, G, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, C, C, G, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, C, C, G. Okay, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, So the G chord is kind of pushed forward a little bit, and it works lovely. It's just a little bit unusual feeling. So somewhere on a desert highway, she rides a Harley Davidson, her long blonde hair flying in the wind. Okay, so we've got C to G and then a whole bar of G, that twice, so C to G, whole bar of G, then another bar of G, and then open A, 2nd fret on the A string, on the 2nd fret, 5th string, and then to 2 bars of C. Okay, it's a little bit unusual. That is all repeated, and then there's 2 bars of G at the end of that. So let me play through that whole chorus now, and hopefully it'll start to make sense. Again, a lot of listening is going to help you out. And just remembering, of course, that this hand, the strumming hand, has to keep moving. That really is the key thing for this Neil Young style. So starting on the C chord there, somewhere on a C chord, G chord, there goes a C to G again, another bar of G, then the step up to C for 2 bars. That's all repeated. Da, da, da. C to G, and on a C to G, another bar of G, and it's up to C, and then to G. And then we've got that little intro part again. So you can see it's nothing difficult, but it's not easy, okay, to try and get all of those things kind of right and feeling good, because that's obviously a really important part of these kind of rhythms where they're really simple. Once you can actually do it, it's making it feel comfortable and relaxed, because this kind of tune, it's a relaxing, beautiful sort of soundscape. It's not, if you're tense with it, it ain't going to work for you at all. So that's really the parts for the whole tune, really. The solo is the same as the verses, but it just does the 5 bars of G, the 2 4-bar step up to the C chord for 2 bars, and then 2 bars of the G. That's where the harmonica solo is. But otherwise, that's all of the parts that you need to play this tune. It's just really a matter of, my recommendation will be going back through, starting with the intro, playing it really slowly and really concentrating on keeping that strumming hand moving consistently, and thinking initially about whether you're using down and up strokes with your thumb and your first finger, and how that works and how the rhythm works. I'm pretty sure Neil wouldn't have thought about it and calculated it, but it's his style, so he just does it, and it's up to us to try and figure out how to do it and how to replicate it. That's one of the beautiful things about having your own style, is you just do it and everyone else imitates it, right? So I really hope you enjoy playing this tune. It's really a fantastic Neil Young song. I mean, most Neil Young songs are fantastic, but this one particularly for me, I think it's a really beautiful, it's a beautiful picture. It really resonates with me. Maybe it does for you too. So I really hope you enjoy this. I've got stacks more Neil Young lessons over on the website, so do go and check that out. There'll be a link in the description, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you dig what I do. I really appreciate your support. I'll see you for plenty more very soon. You take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.